What if your winter escape plan suddenly came with a political plot twist and your favorite hockey team's toughest opponent wasn't even wearing skates? Quick Ottawa weather. A high of 1 and a low of -12 degrees Celsius, with light snow at times. First up, Canadian snowbirds are rethinking their winter migrations. After U.S. President Donald Trump floated the idea of Canada as a 51st state, some retirees say they're feeling unwelcome. Travel groups report a 15% drop in plans to head south this winter. On top of the rhetoric, confusion at the border, like fingerprint requirements and alien registration forms, has some opting for destinations farther south than the United States or simply staying put in Canada. Add in a softer Canadian dollar and rising travel hassles, and the classic Florida condo winter is losing a bit of its shine. For Ottawa listeners, that can ripple into local travel agencies and airlines, as more people look at domestic getaways or different international routes. On the national stage, Ottawa is walking a tightrope with China. Prime Minister Mark Carney is setting guardrails for a reset, looking to grow trade while drawing hard lines on security-sensitive areas, like artificial intelligence, critical minerals, and defense. The goal is big, doubling non-U.S. exports over the next decade, with China a central piece. A Canada-China trade mission is underway to diversify markets and harden the economy against global shocks. But the EV tariff battle is looming large. Ontario Premier Doug Ford wants Canadian tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles to stay, even as Beijing retaliates. British Columbia officials, meanwhile, see upside, especially for energy and resources, if the trip opens new doors. Carney's planned meetings with President Xi Jinping are expected to tackle agriculture and agri-food too, aiming to chip away at long-standing irritants. That dovetails with a maritime story with national stakes: Nova Scotia lobster. Chinese tariffs have hurt. Exports to China are down about 40% this year. But there's a twist. Sales to other international markets jumped roughly 43% in October. Canadian exporters are finding new buyers, a pattern we've also seen with canola in past disputes. Those same lobster, canola, and EV tariff issues are on the agenda for Carney's China visit. The broader question is whether Canada can pair smart risk management on security with creative trade strategy, a balance that matters for jobs and growth from Ottawa to the Atlantic. Now, to a volatile file that demands caution. Reports this week allege the U.S. military captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, and that Washington claims oversight of Venezuela's oil. If accurate, it would be an extraordinary step for a NATO country and a major shock to international norms. Canada has reiterated support for Venezuelans' democratic rights, and both Canada and Brazil have condemned military intervention, calling for respect for international law and peace. Experts warn that any U.S. claim to control Venezuelan oil could reshape global energy politics and potentially narrow Canada's trade leverage. Even as Carney argues Canadian oil can compete with any surge in Venezuelan output, markets are jittery. Elevated risk near borders, higher uncertainty for investors, and the possibility of price swings. We want to be clear. These are developing claims and we have not independently verified them. We'll continue to monitor and update as reliable information emerges. Back home on the ice, the Ottawa Senators' skid continues. The Panthers edged Ottawa 3-2 last night, capitalizing on Sen's miscues and a penalty kill that allowed 2 power play goals. Gustav Forsling and Carter Verhaeghe each notched a goal and an assist for Florida, with Sergei Bobrovsky stopping 18. Ottawa falls to 20-19-5, now with 4 straight losses and just 5 goals across their last 3 games. Verhaeghe's marker came through a fallen Nick Jensen acting as an inadvertent screen on Leevi Merilainen, and Forsling made it 3-1 early in the third with a high glove side snipe. Plenty to clean up before the next one, especially discipline and special teams. But the Senators' biggest rival this week might not be the Panthers, it might be your algorithm. A rumor about goaltender Linus Ullmark's absence spread like wildfire on social platforms. Despite a lack of verification, the team was placed in a no-win spot. Address it and amplify it, or ignore it and let speculation harden into belief. This is the engagement economy at work. Platforms reward what spreads, not what's substantiated, and our brains aren't always our allies. We're more likely to click and share what aligns with what we already think. For teams, journalists, and fans, the takeaway is the same. slow down and source up. In a season where every bounce matters, so does every click. Some better news in Ottawa hockey. The Charge made franchise history with a fifth straight win, topping the Vancouver Golden Knights 4-2 at home. Goals from Anna Meixner, Rania Savalainen, Brianne Jenner, and Rebecca Leslie powered the victory, while Gwyneth Phillips matched Kristen Campbell with 23 saves. The Golden Knights have managed just one road win in 5 tries, and the Charge will look to keep rolling against the Boston Fleet in Halifax later today. Staying with the women's game, Canada's U18s opened their World Championship in emphatic fashion, blanking Switzerland 9-0. Assistant captain Alida Corte led the way with 2 goals and an assist to earn Player of the Game, and Leah Rose Charawa posted an 11-save shutout as Canada outshot Switzerland 51-11. Head coach Vicky Sunahara praised the team's depth but still wants sharper execution shift to shift. Canada shares Group A with Sweden, Hungary, and Switzerland. After Sweden's 4-1 win over Hungary, Canada faces Hungary next. On Parliament Hill, an unexpected shakeup. Chrystia Freeland is resigning her seat, complicating the Liberals' path to a working majority just as a former Conservative, Michael Ma, had brought them within 1 seat. Freeland's riding is considered safely Liberal, but it may be vacant when NPs return later this month. A by-election must be called within 11 to 180 days once the Speaker confirms the vacancy. The earliest possible date would be March 2nd, and certification adds more time before a new MP takes their place. The margin matters. Remember, the government's main budget motion squeaked through last fall, so every vote will count in the weeks ahead. Threading all these stories is a theme we talk about a lot: resilience in a noisy, uncertain world. Whether it's guarding AI and critical minerals while trading with China, sifting signal from social media noise in sports, or absorbing geopolitical shocks in energy and food supply chains, Canada's choices now will shape how steady our footing is later. And for Ottawa, that means our tech firms, our public servants, our sports teams, and our families are all part of the same conversation. That's it for today. If you've got a local tip, a climate story, or an AI angle we should dig into, send it our way. And as always, we'll update you as the Venezuela situation becomes clearer and as Ottawa's teams hit the ice again. Thanks for listening.